Hey guys, so I'm going to try and be on live long enough to actually answer some questions this time. Every other time I've done live recently, I have been out doing something like cutting wood, something like that. So today, for those of you who don't know, a lot of times I will come on and do my live show while spinning, and today I'm using the Mach 3. It is a model that they no longer make. They replaced it with the Monarch. And I've got my boots on, and I have not adjusted the wheel in a bit, so I might get a little bit of a tick. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that or not. So, hello Tubular Guy. Hey Tom. Hey Off Grid. Did you want to show them how the basket works? Did you already pull it up and down again?
Yeah, I pulled it back.
Okay, show them how the basket works. Kai's going to show you how the basket works right there. We have a pulley system that lets us take things up and down in a basket. Hey kiddo, okay, you're super dirty, so don't touch the curtains, don't touch the couch, move away from all the things that are clean.
Should I bring it over?
So currently Paige sleeps in the bed downstairs, and we've been out working in the sun without a proper shower for 3 days. We've been taking washcloth baths.
Scrubbing ourselves down.
But tonight we're going to take a proper shower because we were using our shower sprayer to kill yellow jackets for the last 3 days.
Sandra.
Okay, you're not going to read comments because sometimes the comments are not appropriate. So you're not going to read them for me, okay? So, hey Sandra. But you're not going to read comments out loud. I'm having this discussion only once because sometimes they say nasty things. So yeah, the basket works really well. That is our canned goods and our medicine cabinet stairway. Do you want to show them how you walk down it, honey? Pull the basket back up and put it up.
Did you want all the wool?
I do want all the wool. Did you not get it out yet? Paige, can you go pull all the wool out for me? Alright, so we have been out in the sun and we've been using the sprayer to kill yellow jackets. We've been washing with washcloths, but we got all the yellow jackets gone.
I really like this blue and purple stuff.
It is pretty, huh? So we have all the yellow jackets and everything gone.
Well, most of them. Our rabbit hutches have the tarps in them. Have like 100 thing. So we're still trying to
put some of these that are rolling around, put them in a bag so they're not rolling around anymore, okay?
Okay. I really like this Easter egg one.
This is what I'm spinning right now. I do prefer to use the combs and to use raw fleece and to dye my own because it is so much cheaper. But, okay, do it all at one time, quickly, and then stop touching the bag. Okay, all done. Did you fill up the other jug?
Yes.
Why are they empty?
Oh, Kai, you need to go fill up.
But where did you put the water?
I put it in the sink. In the,
Okay. Kaya, I need you to go pour the water that's left into the tea kettle and then go fill up the jugs twice, or fill up the jugs once. So the girls are hauling water. It's for our laundry, our shower, and for our use in the kitchen.
And hand washing station.
Okay, do we talk during the live shows?
No.
Why don't we talk during the live shows?
Because sometimes we say the wrong thing.
Because sometimes we say stuff that Mom doesn't want you to say because it's private or because it might endanger you in some way, right? So we don't talk during live streams. Okay. Yes, everybody likes your pink cowgirl hat. She's been wearing that hat for years now.
Yeah, for 2 years. I got it.
Remember, we're not going to talk. You can nod, but we're not going to talk. If it's not an edited video, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a lot of channels out there where people are not allowed to leave comments anymore. And a lot of times when nasty people come in and leave comments about children, that's when your channel comments get restricted and you're not allowed to have comments anymore. So unless it's an edited video, I'm trying not to have the girls talk. You just don't know. And then we actually edit the videos or edit the comments pretty heavily watching for that kind of thing. because sometimes it can go undetected, and you don't want that to happen. All right, Beaver Creek Farm is here. Two Wild Onions is here. Nancy Kaiser is here. Little Bits of Heaven Homestead is here. So that's Catherine. You guys have seen her if you follow me on Facebook. Catherine takes videos with me, and Catherine has also taken videos with me here when we're talking about fiber or prepping. So make sure to go check out her channel, Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. And Grammy Karen is here. So I realize that the mirror is probably not in the best place, and yes, your hat flashes. Oh no, we don't talk. Remember, because it's unpredictable what comes out of your mouth, and I love you.
Talking about how
Nope.
there's a cranberry
Nope,
hat.
I know. Things are not the same as they used to be on YouTube, huh? Things have kind of changed a bit. So here we go. Esther said, how long do you plan to be in Idaho? At this point, we really don't know. What we've been doing the last 3 days is getting everything on the house fixed up that needs to. We are fixing the deck. We're going to leave the smokehouse up and functional. We need to get new mulch into the backyard. And then we need to paint the siding on the house. And we have painting on the inside to do. So, we have a lot of work left to do, and it'll probably take us another month to get that finished. And the renters are out here on Wednesday, but we're still on the property to do all this work. So John's at home taking care of ponies, and we're here with new goats and new chickens just to keep us company while we're working on the homestead. It's a lot easier to take care of a homestead when you have animal helpers, I will say that. And we do notice that the orchards and the pastures are much healthier when we have a rotating sequence of birds and goats and that kind of thing. And the rabbits. We don't have rabbits right now. I wish we did, because we really could use the manure. I don't know. Who is our moderator? Catherine, are you the moderator right now for Creepies? So we've been doing these live streams lately because I do want to show you in reality, in real time, what it is we're doing, rather than having something highly edited where you kind of wonder, did she show the whole thing? And so we've been showing you wood splitting and turning on the ditch pump. We've been showing you milking the goats. What else have we shown? You can whisper it to me, but not to the camera. Have we shown anything else?
Cutting wood.
Cooking. I've shown a lot of cooking. And so what I think I'm probably going to do tomorrow is show you, have we shown washing dishes? I did get one of washing the laundry, but I will edit that because it has to be at a certain time of day. I don't wash laundry super early in the morning. We wait until it kind of warms up a little bit and we have our other chores done. And so I would like to do a live stream sometime when I'm doing laundry, and I still need to do a live stream this year on using the rocket mass heater and how it works. Speaking of which, we got lentil soup up in there. Did you want to take the door down and see if you can get the pot of lentil soup out? So the rocket stove oven acts kind of like a slow cooker if you let it go all day. If you get it really good and hot, you can use it to bake in. Okay, be gentle when you put it down, please. You need to take it to the side and lean it up against the side of the stove. Otherwise, you're going to break up the aircrete on the inside. And you're probably going to need hot pads. Okay. Even though the fire has been out for a really long time, it's been out since about 1, maybe noon. It's been out since 1, but it stays hot enough there in the oven that generally it cooks pretty well.
Where's the other one?
Oh, thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Where's
I've
the
never
other
been, what, honey?
Where's the other one?
I think it fell down on the ground. Not on the ground. Think it fell down on the deck out by the jars.
Oh, no.
What?
Do we still sell these on?
I don't have any on Etsy right now.
Can we look up some pictures?
No, because when I ask you to do it, you decide that it's too much work. When I was a kid, we worked in the jewelry business, and it's all about holidays. And so as a grown-up person, I have almost no use for holidays because our bread and butter was holidays, and it kind of put the retail therapy part of holidays into holidays. And so I do appreciate when people say Happy Mother's Day or Happy Christmas or things like that, because the sentiment is genuine. But it's not really something that I celebrate myself. But I'm also not a real like gift receiving type of a person. If it's a drill or a tool of some kind, then I get pretty excited about it. But otherwise, I'm pretty anti-gift. Okay, take it to, I actually bring it here. Let's see if we can show him. All right, how hot is it?
Not really.
Okay, don't tip it. It does have food in it. Okay, go ahead and show him.
So this is our
That's our
split
lentil soup that cooked in the air-crete oven. Do you want to go stir it and see how it looks? Maybe
Sure.
that's what we'll...
And try it and see if it's too crunchy or not.
Yeah. The first time we did it, I put cold water into it. And you don't want to put cold water into your lentils. You want to put boiling water into your lentils when you first put them in. And that way, it's kind of partially cooked when you put it into the cooker. If you decide to sell the bigger homestead, will you sell the tiny house? Yes, I haven't decided if I want to sell it with the house or separately, because I'm not selling it for a whole lot. I'm selling it for what I have into it, not anything to make a profit. And so we need to live in it right now while we're getting the house ready to sell or rent or whatever. We've had a couple different people who've been interested in renting from us, who would also be willing to run the Airbnb and take a percentage of the profits. And so we're kind of thinking about that a little bit, because if you're going to do an Airbnb, somebody has to be your property manager to change the sheets and fill things back up. And the easiest thing, is it crunchy?
No. It doesn't need
Oh,
salt.
it turned out good.
Does it need salt?
No, but you can dish everybody up, and you can cut 3 pieces of cheese, not huge pieces of cheese, normal pieces of cheese.
Yeah.
So the rocket stove works as well as a sun oven, but if you're going to be using your rocket stove anyway, that's really nice. If you are in the middle of summer and you don't want to use a rocket stove, that's when you want to use a sun oven. And at this point, I have had bad luck with the days that I set the sun oven up. It'll be really, really nice and sunny, and then I'll get distracted putting the food into the sun oven, and 3 hours later I'll be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to put that in the sun oven. I'll go out and it will have been closer to evening, or I will remember just before a rainstorm. And so that's why they keep little pellets. They have little fuel pellets you can put in, so that if it goes from a sunny day to a cloudy day really quickly, you can still finish cooking your food. So I do need to experiment with that and see what I think of it for summer cooking. But I know that Catherine over at Little Bits of Heaven Homestead has been using her solar oven lately for things like heating up coffee or or things like that, because their appliances in their kitchen have gone out. And so if you want to see videos about that and posts about that, make sure to go check out her channel. No talking. Just get everybody's dishes dished up. What is nice is that because we are currently in this location, a party of 3, those small dishes that fit into the air-crete oven and also into the solar oven, they all feed us for one meal with maybe a little bit left over. You smell like mold. What do you smell like? Okay, just don't touch anything. You really are filthy. We did laundry about 3 days ago, but with how few clothes we brought with us, we probably need to wash our extra sets of clothes tomorrow. Mostly because of Paige's pants. I need to get her another set of really hard wearing pants. And the pants that she's wearing right now that are working really well for her are from the same place that my corset holster came from. And it's Tactigear. But just be aware, I think that the sizes run a little bit slim. They're meant for women, but because I believe they're made in China, The sizes do run a little slim. All right, I can't read. If you guys can do all caps so that I can read them from a distance, that would be super helpful. So what I need to do is start playing with this spinning wheel more and get some bulkier yarn onto it, because I'm so used to spinning super fine. But I will admit that if you're going to be spinning, it is much easier to spin chunky, fat, textured yarn if you're spinning from the locks instead of spinning from roving. When you spin from roving, it's just not as much fun to make art yarn from roving, at least in my opinion, as it is just to use locks. And if you can think of what you have that you want to make before you start your yarn, that also helps. And lately I have a tendency just to sit down at my wheel and just kind of spin anything, just to make sure I'm getting in my spinning for the day. Did you get the cheese all sliced and ready, honey?
No.
Okay.
Also, I can't find any spoons.
Sounds like somebody needs to wash some silverware then. You're going to want to get some hot water into the dish pan side and a little bit of soap.
Mom,
Yes.
the thing is I can't even find any dirty ones, too.
Well, where did you look?
I looked on the table, I looked on the washing station, I looked on the cooking station.
It must be magic spoon fairies. We'll have to eat with our noses.
We can eat with teaspoons and
No, we're not
tablespoons.
going to do that. You're going to find some silverware and get them
Mom, I
washed.
can't find any.
Okay, then we'll just go without dinner tonight. So Mom has been out working with the girls and with Grandpa today, and my patience is probably not as extended as it could be right now. There's so much to do, and especially, you know, when you're homesteading and you're off grid and you have a lot of work to do. Oh, and I still didn't see it. Kaya, can you swipe it down just a little bit so I can see that last comment that was, yeah, there we go. Mini Duck, I'm confused too. The dad was with the family, a house deal fell through, and the next thing, oh, well, John's not missing. He's in Oklahoma. So we do this every year. John is in Oklahoma. He likes to live in the warm weather, and we do not do well with warm weather. So we farm here on our original homestead in the tiny house during the summer, while John is in Oklahoma. And this is the third year that we've done this. And what is different this year is that usually we have a renter here in the big house, and the little off-grid cabin just sits empty while we're gone. But about a month ago, our renter called and told us that they were needing to buy a new house because they have another baby on the way. So they had to go, and instead of being able to rent anymore, honey, your leg is right in the middle of my elbow. You're going to have to stand up because it's right in the middle of my elbow. No, leave it, thank you. Instead of being able to rent anymore, they were going to go buy something, and they found a house they really liked, so they immediately put money down on it, and they only had a month left in their rent, in the lease, and so it all worked out. I was coming home anyway to farm and to stay in the little cabin, but now we're also getting the little homestead ready so that in case we decide that what we want to do is sell instead of rent, we can. And so John is in Oklahoma, and they still don't have the title to the house that we had wanted to buy. So that's what's happening. That's why it felt like we jumped from one homestead in Oklahoma back to the one in Idaho, is because I come back every year anyway, because there's a lot to do in the spring. We have babies being born, and for a long time our renter wasn't comfortable with being here and delivering baby goats by herself and setting up the watering system. So the only thing that has changed is just that we had put money down and tried to buy that place in Oklahoma, but we've been waiting on it for 4 months now, that they still don't have a clear title on it. And so we don't know what's going to happen with that homestead, but we do still have this one, and we're working on it, just like we have for the last 2 years. Is it almost 3 years? It might almost be 3 years.
It's 3 years.
Because I think it's 2016. We left the end of 2015 or the end of 2016. I don't remember which one.
It's been 3 years.
3 years. This is the third summer. So it's not that John is MIA. He's not missing in action. He was legitimately left in Idaho, just like every year.
Not Idaho, Oklahoma.
Or sorry, in Oklahoma. Okay, if you don't know the history, it's really confusing. Well, and it's confusing for us too, because generally I know about what time I'm coming back, and I know, and this year I wasn't going to stay as long. I was only going to try and set the water up and then leave again. Nope, put it back, thank you. Generally I stay all summer. We get here the end of April, and then I stay until September, October, or November. I stay all summer. But this year I was planning on only staying a couple weeks, because we thought we'd have the new homestead in Oklahoma to work on. That I'd be here for a couple weeks, I'd water things, and then I'd go back to Oklahoma and we'd have the new Oklahoma homestead to work on. But then we kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and that one we were never able to purchase it. It still doesn't have a title. And so I'm just going back to what we usually do, which is come here for the summer. But yeah, it gets a little confusing bouncing back and forth every 6 months. How are you? Tired? We got a little bit of sun today. Oh my gosh. We're at a high altitude, and the sun just hits you. Let's see, Jan Dawson said, I get excited about tools too. Too hot in a tall, fast couple of days. Let's see, Queen Little Corner says, must be very hard on the family to be separated. Well, we definitely cry a lot when we leave John. And we talk on the phone at least at night, but generally in the morning. And if we can, we talk at lunchtime. And every year we find some way for John to come up and spend time with us as many times as we can. Last year he came up for almost 3 weeks. And this time what we're going to do is I'm going to be here like a month longer than I thought I was going to be. And so our rental car arrangements were screwy. And so he's going to come meet us halfway. We're going to meet halfway and exchange vehicles so he can take the rental car back to the place of origin. So we'll get to see him. We haven't even been here a week yet. And, we've been here a week today. Yeah, because today's Sunday. So we've been here a week today, and we'll probably be seeing him in another week when we go trade cars. So is it difficult? Well, I don't know if difficult is the right word. It's what we do. We miss him, but we've been doing this for the last 3 years. No. What? It should be right there behind the dishpan. Out on the deck from when I was filling up the bug spray. Go look. Or it might be out in the shower. Let's see. Holly said, you must feel overwhelmed with all that's happening. Oh my gosh, that is exactly how I feel. I feel incredibly overwhelmed. I'm grateful because the timing is really good. If we're going to sell the house here, or if we're going to rent it, it's so much easier for me to do it when I'm already here, when I was already planning to do it. But like my dad is helping a lot to help get the house fixed up, and that's huge, saving us time and money, and it's fun to hang out with my dad. So that is heartwarming and important to me. And at the same time, I kind of feel the time passing and wishing we were getting more done. I don't know how to help you, honey, because I'm doing a live show and you need to go find the soap.
Did you use up all of it?
I did not. I did not use up all of it. I would assume that it's in the shower or it's on the deck because I was trying to let you girls sleep this morning when I was setting up the bucket. That's my assumption. So it can be overwhelming at times. If I have a big project, it's really hard to live off grid and have a big project that you're trying to do yourself, because off grid it's really important to have somebody in here cooking all the time, because all the cooking takes a long time. And when you're off grid, it's really important to have somebody hauling water all the time, because you still use quite a bit of water. And you need to get to bed early enough, because you start bright and early when the sun comes up in the morning. And so all your physical labors, while they're very rewarding, off grid everything is very time consuming and requires a lot of hands-on labor.
But it's a good thing we're not off grid. Everything could be on the fridge still.
We do have a fridge. The one thing we do that's off grid is the fridge. Hey, and you're not supposed to be talking. No talking in live streams, remember? You get in trouble for that. We do have a fridge. There are propane fridges, and my parents used to have a fridge that was run off of solar. But for our purposes, we just have a teeny tiny little fridge, so that when we have meat in the house, we're not getting sick. And we just use a little extension cord to run a little bit of power from the house, and that's what it is. We don't have electric lights, and we don't have, and when we need to vacuum, we have to unplug the fridge because it doesn't draw enough power to run a vacuum and a fridge. And then we have to remember very quickly after we vacuum, we only have the one rug. We plug the fridge back in, and that's all we can run. So, I'm trying not to be foolhardy in the things I'm living purposefully by living off grid, but I try not to be so stubborn about, you know, the puritanicalness that can come with living off grid. You can run everything and be off grid, but it takes money. It takes money, or some really interesting, tricky systems that might still endanger your health a little. Like, for instance, we could sink a bucket or something with holes in it out here in the canal, and we could put our food in the bucket in the canal, and as that really cold mountain water runs through the bucket, we could refrigerate our food. But there are a lot of people here in our area that dump pesticides and bodies of dead animals and other chemicals and motor oil into this water, which means that the chance of us getting something nasty and of the water being contaminated if it comes in contact with our food, it's very high. And so even though that would be the perfect situation, would be to make a little bit of a sunken in the water refrigerator, that'd be awesome. I don't really trust the contents of the water that much. It is an agricultural area, and there are some really nasty pesticides that can get washed into that water, whether purposefully or by accident. But maybe one day I'll show you how to do that, how to set up a refrigerator that goes into a stream or something else like that, a river, a canal, to keep things cool. But then you'd want to have containers that were really, really locked down and airtight, and make sure that you have an inside container that is hole free and an outside container that lets the water flow through so that it stays cold. So it would it would have to be a very particular system, and I might actually get in trouble for putting stuff in, because you're supposed to keep anything that is not water and irrigation related is supposed to stay out of the canals. Can you swipe it for me? Oh, never mind. Let's see, Sandra said we can't run the toaster and the coffee maker at the same time, solar power. Yes, exactly. You just have to kind of budget your power when you're off grid, and that's fine. And you want your appliances to be very energy efficient. Vacuums are not energy efficient, and so when I run the vacuum, I cannot have the fridge plugged in, or it flips the breaker in the house. Let's see, Susie said, but I thought you used that water to water your trees and grass and stuff when you're pulling water. Yes, that's very true. I do. And there's nothing I can do about that. And we are exposed to that water when we are watering. And it is, at least in my opinion, it is, I try not to touch the water when it's going there. It's not the same as, like in, where was it? There's, in Washington. There's a town in Washington, I can't remember. It's out by Zilla, I think. I think it's Zilla, actually. And they actually recycle their irrigation water. So the water that comes off their orchards that has the pesticides in it, they recycle that to water lawns, and they give you instructions that when the lawn is wet, do not let your children play on it because it's full of pesticides and herbicides, right? Now in our system here in Idaho, it's actually directly, it's snow melt, it's snow runoff from the mountains, and they're not purposefully, well, a lot of people use the water system as their own personal dumping ground for garbage that they can't take to the landfill because they figure if it doesn't stay on their property, it doesn't hurt anything. But I know people who do that, and I know people who dump dead animals into the canal system, just as the way that they get, instead of burying dead carcasses of livestock, they put it into the water. And that's not unique to Idaho, and that's not unique to our area. A lot of old timers and good old boys and stuff grew up just throwing things into the water. And so it's not that I'm afraid of the water, it's that I don't want to drink the water. I don't want to play in the water. I don't want to bathe in the water because I know that there are people upstream of me who go by the old boy system, which is just that as long as it takes away from your property, then that's a good thing. So I'm not angry about it. It's just that I've lived with this system my whole life and I know what I do and don't want to use it for. Let's see. Andrew said, I'm jealous of your rewarding lifestyle. Well, we do enjoy it. We enjoy it when we're here. It's a lot of hard work, but I find that when I'm not busy like this, my mind is way too busy thinking up scary things to be worried about in the world. So I do enjoy my time here. And because we have such a complete system here, that's the reason why when I think about it, why I have a hard time imagining selling the homestead is because our system here is very complete. We only have 1.5 acres, but we don't even use all of our land because we don't need to because of the system we put into place to grow our own food. And it's taken a lot of years to put it together, but we probably only use about half of our land. We have 1.5 acres. So 3/4 of an acre is pretty much all we use to graze the animals, to feed the rabbits, to feed the ducks and the chickens, to raise pigs and things like that. We do bring in feed in the summer, but a lot of what we do, we can really grow here on our own. Hello, Michelle. Oh, I can't, it disappeared too quickly.
I can get it back.
Well, I don't know. It might show up when somebody else writes something so that I can see. Make sure to do it in all caps. So did you get the lentil soup ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you go hang up your hat.
I just ate.
Honey, you're okay. Just
It
leave it.
isn't working.
It's because you have to scroll differently. Just leave it alone.
Go from.
No, you do not read the comments. Please. Sometimes people put nasty things in and I don't want them read. Go eat your food, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Did you find silverware page?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll have to use my screen now.
All right, that's fine. An Aircrete refrigerator. That would be an awesome idea. Darwin has already made me an Aircrete air conditioner that we may use later in the summer if we're still here. But here on this property, the easiest thing to do would just be to go sink it out in the canal. So even if we don't actually put food in it, I would like to show you guys the principle behind that to see how it works. Go wash your hands, please, and go eat.
I already did.
You already ate?
Yes.
Okay, then go haul water. Put your boots on and go haul water. We need more water tonight. What we're gonna do, usually we're a little bit later getting to bed. What?
It's full.
What's full? The jugs?
Yeah.
And is the propane going?
It already boiled.
And you turned it off?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, how full is the shower water?
I don't know.
I believe it needs 1 more gallon of water in the shower water before we put the hot water in, okay? So go ahead and pour that in. Make sure not to spill it, okay? I've already cleaned all the soap out of it from the spraying. We have a mama kitten who just had babies. And what water do we drink? So we have a private well on our property and we have a hand pump. Yep. And we have a hand pump on our private well. So what you saw Paige come in with, do you want to come in and show them again, Paige? So what Paige came in with, we have 2-gallon plastic jugs. And the girls take those out and they put them on the pump and then they pump by hand the water. that we use in the house. So everything for laundry, for cooking, for cleaning, everything that goes into our bodies or goes onto our bodies in washing, we get that out of the well. What we use for irrigation and for watering, go put it in, honey. No, go put it in. Walk. Now. So, the only way that we use the irrigation, the canal water, is on fruit trees and other things where the water doesn't directly touch our food. We do not use canal water to water our fresh food garden. So if we have greens, we water with what comes off the hand pump. And if we are watering fruit, we water the roots of the plant, but then when it's time to eat the plant, we water with our well water. We wash the plant with the well water. I was going to say, if you can use the AC Darwin had made, then it could be used to at least an enclosed area about the size of a fridge, and that may help out with something. The comment went away. Sorry about that. So, I'm having an easier time doing live shows at night. What vegetables do you have? What water do you cook and drink? Okay, so that's the answer to that question. We take it off the hand pump, and that is clean water out of the ground, and it is our own pump, our own well. So, I thought I saw another question. Okay, thank you. Oh, we lost him. Oh my goodness, somebody's being dumb. If somebody is on with a wrench, can they please ban this last silliness? Hold on a second, guys.
Are you showing live show?
All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Hopefully that helped a little bit. So, what were we talking about? Okay, please don't lay down on the wool. What else do you need to do tonight to get ready for bed? So usually at night, we will wait until just before dark to start getting ready. But where we're tired and we've been working so hard, what we are most likely going to be doing is we'll just wait until the live show is over. And thank you, Truth. What we will most likely do is, as soon as I have the live show finished and we have some food down us, we're going to run out and shower. We use a little agricultural sprayer, a new one, and it's pressurized, and we put a new nozzle on it, and it works as a handheld shower. Your cabin looks so pretty last year when you painted and put up the blue curtains. Not sure. Hey, Grandpa Jones, how are you? Hey, Michael, how are you? Or Michelle, I think it's Michelle. Okay, I missed the part where they said that they liked the cabin. Oh, goodness. Well, moderators, if you can do something about that, this is a first for me. Anyway, I'm just going to keep talking. So we have all of the crafting stuff brought down. And everything is attached to the treadle sewing machine. Thank you, Catherine. You actually, if you can remove them and then hide them on the channel so that the user can't come on anymore, that's the best thing to do, is to hide them from the channel, and then generally they'll just pop up with more. All right. Yeah, don't just delete. Make sure to hide them on the channel. What do the girls think of the way you choose to live? Do they ever wish it was easier or more normal? So we were living very normally in Oklahoma. When we're in Oklahoma with John, we live very conventionally. And so they have been counting the minutes, the days, the seconds until we got back. And they miss their goats, they miss their kittens, they miss sleeping in the loft, they miss starting fires. I think the only thing they don't miss is pumping the water. We all take turns pumping the water, but usually it's the girls that do it. And it's heavy work, but it gives them really, really big muscles. Okay, C. Robinson asked, what are we making? So this is roving. It's probably merino. And I am making, I'll pop this off so you can see it. I'm making yarn. And do you want to go check and see if the chickens have any more eggs?
Sure.
So I can hear them. And that's what we're making. And if you're interested in handmade items or tools for such, we do have them on our Etsy store. I think I need to oil that a little bit. So, and as with anything, practice makes perfect. It doesn't matter if you have this type of wheel or any other type of wheel. If you don't practice on it, you don't get very good. So I'm not sure what else to say. This behind me is our clothing closet, and then on this side as well, where you see the blue, that's also a covered part of our hanging closet storage. Anything else? Our little baskets for storage are in the ceiling above us, in some rough cut lumber. And by the way, Essential Mountain Homesteading is coming down sometime around the 20th, and we're going to do some videos with him. He's if you're into architecture and construction and building cabins and that kind of thing, make sure to go check him out, Essential Mountain Homesteading. He will be coming down and working with the mini excavator to pull out our driveway that is cracked and needs to be pulled out. And we will be talking about how to build a mortgage-free house, a debt-free house. And he is a good friend. He's the one who had the sawmill and let us cut all the rough cut lumber that we used to finish the inside of the cabin, all of this. The tin came from my father-in-law's calf shed. Let's see, Trudy said, love your evening live stream spinning yarn, so restful. Well, I think so. Sometimes I get a little lazy and I can't figure out how to show you the spinning wheel and do the live show at the same time, but I think I'm starting to get a system. Yeah, Tubular Guy 9 is a real viewer for sure. He's a real viewer for sure. There's just that other guy that keeps putting up the weird stuff, and most likely what's happening is he's coming under 2 different names. All right. Noodle Cat said, could you maybe do a tour of your tiny house again? It's been a while. I can try. It is very difficult to get the whole thing in because it is very tiny and the lighting makes things go dark and light in between. I am going to work on getting that done. The video that I wanted to have up tomorrow, I don't know if I'll have it up in time because we are working late. Let's see. Were you raised on a homestead? So my history with homesteading is that I had a lot of really bad allergies as a child, and when I was around animals, it seemed to cause a reaction that would then calm down, that would help me with my allergies. I would always react to the animals, but then my other allergies would decrease. And as I got older, I also had really bad food allergies, and it turned out that if I could drink raw milk from goats, that I could find something that I could eat that would make me feel well, and it was a really happy thing. And so as a child, I craved goat's milk, and when my dad was done with school and we were finally out in the country, I bought my own first milk goat when I was 9. Was I 9? I think I was 9.
That's what I want to do.
Don't, your dirty feet are right on the curtain, honey. Keep them off. We tried really hard not to come in the house and rest until we are clean. So tonight is kind of an aberration from what we usually do because we are filthy. I've been wearing these pants for, I think this is the 2nd day I've been wearing them. And the shirt is also from 2 days of wear. Paige's pants, she's had them on for 4 or 5 days.
I've had these on I've had my pants on, these pants on for a week.
Just keep your feet off the curtains, please.
and
Usually
my-
don't wear shoes. Oh, and you're talking in a live stream. Scoot this way away from the curtains. Usually I'm not the bossy mom who's like, don't sit there. But again, usually we bathe before we come into the living room. We kind of try and stay on in the part of the house that doesn't have bedding and rugs and stuff. All right, so it says goat milk's cured my allergies. No, goat milk did not cure my allergies. What it gave me was something that I could eat that I didn't get really sick from. I believe that goat's milk made me healthier, and being around animals allowed my immune system to stop overreacting to everything in life. I loved animals, and they gave me a reason to be outside, but they didn't solve my health. I had to kind of fix that on my own. I did have some serious health things. For one thing, we found out that I'm allergic to wheat, and then later we found out that I'm actually allergic to all grains. And once I eliminated those things from my life, I stopped being a universal reactor, but I could always drink goat's milk. I knew I was safe with goat's milk. And so one of the reasons my parents started homesteading when I was about 13 was because we had health problems in our family, and trying to buy organic food from the health food store. There were 7 of us, and it was impossible to afford health food from the health food store for 9 people. And so instead, they bought a homestead and they started growing their own food so that we could afford to eat well. And we had milk cows and milk goats and geese and ducks and chickens and sheep. We never did pigs, but we had beef cows and we had a big garden. How many eggs did we get tonight? Okay, we already collected some during the day.
We got one. We got one.
And I collected one this morning. We've got 6 chickens right now, and some of them are older. We wanted to do free chickens since we didn't know how long we would be here. We don't have 8 chickens. Oh, but not all of them lay eggs. Roosters don't lay eggs, right?
Yeah. Also.
Oh, that's true. You really do smell like mold. What have you been rolling in?
She smells kind of like stinky sweet.
Nope, you can't talk on the live stream. Is Maltipoo, Maltese, and Poodle dog fur good for spinning? Yes, you can totally spin it. So, my favorite chicken is the barred rock chicken. And the reason we're not getting a lot of eggs right now is because all of our hens are old. They were free chickens on Craigslist type of a thing. And they laid pretty well a couple of days ago. And then we switched them out to give them a little bit more space, and that kind of set them back a little bit. So whenever chickens get something new that happens to them, it slows their egg production down for a little bit. And so that's what happened. First they came to us, and then we changed their coop a little bit. But I will try really hard to figure out how to get more of the storyline of what's happening in. It's hard for me to do that with limited electricity, which is why I'm doing the live streams, because I can just charge my phone and then show you, as opposed to trying to get on my computer and have enough juice to be able to edit a video. So that's what we are doing. So I am going to close this so that I can go bathe some really dirty girls. And thank you for coming in. If you're interested in spinning wheels, if you're interested in, I have the homestead or prepper food storage cookbook in the link in the description. I think it's Dining on a Dime. That's the link there. And then the sun oven is on the Etsy store. The spinning wheels are on the Etsy store. Don't lick yourself, please. You are really dirty.
I'm not. It's my
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close before my battery dies. And we'll go see if we can get it